So the project we are going to present you is 9 months old. It's a work in progress that we hope to continue for 2 more years. That's why we are interested in your feedback. So, interactive works of digital art. Everyone will have his or her own idea of what they are. A consensus definition, through necessarily debatable, could be works of art that created using a computer or computers, that are performed with software, that software may be created by the artists themselves, and that require interaction with the viewer or the environment. Works responding to that definition can be identified over the last 40 years at most, altogether a short time span compared to other media. They may combine several forms of expression, integrating aesthetics and techniques from the realm of video, sound, programming, design, photography. So here are some examples, but we will come back later. Works of this nature can be created, displayed, and curated in rather different contexts. At the time of their creation, they are often presented as performances, events, one-time pieces that can be commissioned or purchased by cultural institutions. Then they are expected to have a longer lifespan in the collection, but they do not usually come with a maintenance contract, and their uniqueness can make preservation tricky. Conversely, they can be created with a view to larger distribution, such as digital copy allows. Think of CD-ROMs in the 19th. As published work, they enter in the realm of legal deposit in France. We'll come back to this later. In any case, they can be a research topic, and researchers may have different access needs, served with emulation or complete recreation of the art piece, and everything in between. This means that different professional communities are involved in the preserving digital art with different goals and a patchy history of collaboration. However, their efforts complete each other. It's with this vision of collaboration that our project was built. This project, Digital Art and Posterity, began in February 2015 in collaboration with 3 partners: la Bibliothèque nationale de France, through le service multimédia du département audiovisuel, the University of Paris 8, through INREV research team, and the ATEI department, Computer, Graphic, and Art department, and the private structure, the Living Art Lab. This research, modeling interactive works of digital art, aims to develop a general descriptive system of these artworks. This descriptive system should bring them to the attention of the future generation and enable them to recreate a production with their own means. It must be able to provide an operational solution to the BNF's mission of collect, by legal deposit or donation, of conservation, and of communication. The tool will have broader mandate that can be used in educational activities, production, analysis, criticism of digital works. As you all know, digital preservation is a many-splendor thing, and its practitioners have first tackled the preservation of collections representing large, homogeneous ensembles, such as digitized text, still images, or digitized sounds from fragile media. Interactive works of digital art is some sort of niche concern within this large community, and these documents are complex. However, research and solutions concerning the preservation of computer environment and programs exist. We are aware of project and interest group about digital forensics, environment description like Premise, web archiving, or emulation like Keep, emulation as a service, to name but a few. All of these are useful, and to move digital art preservation forward, we must glean from them all. All the more, since the archives, libraries, and museums have few contacts in this domain that we know of. Do you need the concern of the varied stakeholders in digital art preservation who project turn to metadata? We know that to know as much as possible about an object is a major step towards its preservation, and that standardized, interoperable metadata is the way to go. But since digital art is present in relatively small quantities in libraries and archives, and since museums have a less valuable tradition in describing their asset, data models for interactive works of digital art are hard to come by. Yet, the metadata possibilities are threefold. Identify the works, working on bibliographic records, describing the technical aspects of the artwork, and documenting preservation metadata. Narrating the works, that is, having a structured way of describing through words what the behavior of the artwork is, as a guidance for future recreation or as a palliative when access is partially or totally impossible. 8 months into the project, we are encouraged by our first results. The main gains are twofold. Each partner has accrued knowledge on its collection, and we have started working on data model. Better knowledge of the partner's collection is necessary to gather the raw data on the artworks that we will later fit, we hope, into our model. We work on 3 topics. One, the first, early digital artworks in France and the cultural institution who hosts them. 2, identify the art CD-ROMs in the BNF collection and try to complete it when possible. Test access to contents, the disk image, and the emulation solution. That way, we have a comprehensive view of a collection that is comparatively well described and easy to access. 3, identify ATEI's creation over the years, starting with the animated movies. The researcher and student are first and foremost artists and have no tradition of documenting the work and the creation process at the university. What's more, the stakeholders in digital preservation at the university are scattered across different structures. In parallel, we have been able to work on the data model. The main challenge to overcome is scattered expertise. As a national library, the BNF is well versed in bibliographic description and digital preservation, but both rely on different people in different structures. We have been gathering standards and best practices from specialists in FRBR, name registry, audiovisual work, preservation metadata. Conversely, the expertise on digital art is mainly in the minds of the project partner from the university and the Living Art Lab. We all have had interesting moments of constructive misunderstandings, and the student and I have had accelerated training in library and information science. It is an effort, but we have already seen benefits from our interaction. Responsibility in preserving the creation of ATEI are being defined. Students will be systematically trained on the challenges of describing and preserving their creation. The BNF has started to envision the best methods of collecting and describing other types of documents. A partner of this project is the BNF through the Département de l'Audiovisuel Service Multimédia. The BNF is a heritage library and presents extremely varied collection in the field of digital art and under the legal deposit. He has collected around 1990 to until now a large number of art CD-ROMs, publication works of art. Now, the current goal of the BNF is to complete its collection beyond publication on the physical media, given the extension of the legal deposit mandate. In the research project, the BNF shares its expertise in the conservation of digitized heritage and bound digital documents. But with the fast obsolescence of some of the equipment used a few years ago, some CD-ROMs can't be read by new machines. That's why BNF developed archiving and emulation program for multimedia works. Its main focus is to give access to content according to the most standardized communication modes. Here are some bibliographic records of the art CD-ROM I mentioned. They will give you an idea of the strength and weakness of the current management of this artwork by the BNF. The bibliographic description can be precise and is often detailed regarding author and contributors. The technical description is succinct. It is sufficient for emulation purposes right now, but not standardized and may not be viable in long term. Our research project is studying other way of enriching the collection's description by interviewing the author when they use their own creation. This makes possible the collection of information at source. Another partner, the Living Art Lab, is a private structure with experience in fostering and facilitating digital art. It was founded last year by Florent Aziosmanov, but it existed before within Le Cube, a center for digital art creation. There, the Living Art Lab was created in 2000. Le Cube, through the Living Art Lab, directed and produced different interactive art installations by offering the creator financial resources and IT skill. Those productions fostered the work of Florent Aziosmanov on a description system of interactive digital art as a new field of artistic creation. He has shared his work with artists in order to facilitate the creation process, and now he shares it with the project's partners. Their goal in the project is to promote and preserve Living Art Lab Living Art installation. You can find all the creation that they did on this link. And just to show you, for example, this is Corps Complice of Catherine Langlade, and this is Le Petit Chaperon Rouge from Florent Aziosmanov.
Okay. Alors maintenant, je présente Université Paris 8, le département Art, Technologie de l'image et l'équipe de recherche Images numériques et réalité virtuelle. Ces départements sont créés par des pionnières entre art et informatique en France. Après leurs 40 ans d'activité de recherche, l'enseignement, maintenant la plupart, ils sont tous partis à la retraite et c'est maintenant qu'on commence à penser l'héritage de tous ces fruits de recherche.
So this lab was founded by, or this department by pioneer artists creating digital art, and now they're almost all retired, and they're thinking of how to preserve this heritage.
Okay. Ouais. Et puis, Université Paris 8, presque 30 ans dans le domaine du numérique. Alors, cette année, l'université est invitée à d'honneur présenter dans le cadre du festival Campus Exhibition Festival Electronica. Okay. En principe, il y a le film d'animation, hein, et puis il y a l'installation interactive aussi, et puis réalité virtuelle augmentée, et puis aussi littérature numérique. Okay, et les objets comportementaux. Okay.
So different kinds of work that falls into these categories.
Okay.
It was too fast, but virtual reality, digital literature, other things.
Dans notre collaboration avec la BNF, maintenant, on est en train de réfléchir comment préserver toutes ces œuvres numériques qui sont créées au sein de notre laboratoire.
So they think of how they can preserve all these works that were created in this lab.
La Spicline de synthèse.
Par exemple, là, c'est le premier.
Bonjour, je suis la Spicline de synthèse. Tapez une phrase.
88,
je vais essayer
89,
de la prononcer.
Les premiers speakers.
So the synthetic talking head.
Vous voulez.
Bon, ben, je vais essayer de taper quelque chose alors. L'écran de télévision n'est pas une fenêtre, mais
The screen of the television is not a window, but
robinet
tap,
à image.
but a tap
Voilà,
image
ça
tap.
calcule. Et donc, je vais aller pouvoir écouter le son en cliquant.
By clicking, I can
L'écran de
listen.
télévision n'est pas une fenêtre, mais un robinet à images. Je vais vous expliquer comment cela fonctionne.
I will explain you how this works.
Bien. Et bien alors, comment fait-on la synthèse du son à partir du texte?
Synthèse de la parole à partir du texte. La machine est capable de lire n'importe quel texte tapé par l'utilisateur.
Ok. Le problème, c'est que maintenant, toutes ces œuvres n'existent plus. On n'a qu'un seul vidéo.
The problem is that all this work, they don't exist anymore. They only have this video documentation.
Et puis, alors, les recherches dans notre labo, par exemple, le film de Michel Pretz, c'est vraiment dans l'année 80-90, c'est lui qui programme, qui utilise des lois dynamiques.
So it's a film program using like dynamic programming.
Ouais. Parce que, c'est-à-dire là, il y a le film qui est gravé dans le DVD. Hein, maintenant, avant c'est dans les VHS et après maintenant c'est sur DVD. Mais par contre, tout ce fruit-là, derrière, il y a un concept, il y a un développement qui est très important. C'est vraiment une pionnière dans l'image de synthèse en film d'animation. Hein. Tout, je veux dire, c'est lui qui a commencé à traiter pas seulement le mouvement aussi, comme dans les tissus, les cheveux, le corps, le mouvement.
So he's one of the pioneers of the synthetic image, and he was one of the first to work on movement and also the movement of the hair or the tissue that we've seen in the movie.
Et aussi, là, je vais vous montrer, c'est lui qui a programmé un corps avec les réseaux neurones. Il a commencé à modéliser les squelettes, les mouvements des squelettes, les membres, tout ça, c'est avec les réseaux neurones, c'est-à-dire c'est intelligence artificielle.
So he started building this skeleton using neuronal connections and can you repeat? Via virtual intelligence.
Parce que là, c'est sur Internet, un chargement. Ok. Ouais. Ok. Bah alors, ouais. Après, je vais vous montrer. Ok, tout le film de Michel Pretz, à partir de l'an 2000, c'est vraiment avec intelligence artificielle. Et après, je veux vous montrer un de mes films. Je travaille dans le domaine de la vie artificielle.
So now it's one of her film, and she works in the domain of artificial life, this ID. Everything that is visible is only a phenomenon, ephemeral. Life is a long story.
C'est-à-dire, j'ai développé un laboratoire virtuel, laboratoire génétique, permet de créer différentes espèces de créatures virtuelles.
So she created this digital lab that permits to create different kind of creatures.
ne s'agit pas seulement de réaliser un film, c'est plutôt de développer un système.
Here it's not
Complex.
about making the movie, but it's about making a complex system to be able to generate all these virtual creatures. When we were born,
Der Atem der Sonne schießt Bilder in den Sinn, die durchfluten den Körper im vertrockneten Land. Schwerelos treibend bildet sie Rätsel im Sand.
Alors, après, je vais vous montrer un autre film créé par un doctorant. Et là, c'est avec la loi dynamique et aussi interaction avec la musique.
so it's dynamic laws in interaction with the music that creates this forms and shapes.
C'est-à-dire, le dessin peut être en temps réel, interactif avec la musique.
So it's real-time drawing with in connection with the music.
Ok, là, on parlait de l'interactivité. Alors maintenant, comment on peut préserver les œuvres interactives? Ça, c'est en ce moment, dans notre projet, on est en train de réfléchir. Par exemple, là, les premières installations interactives dans notre labo en 1988, le pissenlit et la plume de Michel Prêtre et Edmond Couchot. Au début, la première version de cette installation, comme la machine n'est pas très puissante, les mouvements sont calculés aléatoires. Et après, comme la machine est plus puissante, là, l'auteur introduit la loi dynamique. Du coup, il y a les versions différentes.
So, based on the machine that were used in 88 and in this reinstallation, different kind of interaction were possible for the artists when they remade this work.
Et là, c'est une installation interactive avec intelligence artificielle, c'est-à-dire la danseuse est programmée avec les réseaux neurones.
So it's interactive work with artificial intelligence
Yes.
that control the dancer.
il porte une ceinture, gyroscope, permet d'interagir avec la danseuse virtuelle.
So the audience is wearing a belt that allows them to interact with the virtual dancer.
Alors je voudrais montrer une autre. Alors là, c'est une autre installation.
Dès qu'on le touche, sa surface réagit et des ondes se forment sous nos doigts. On commence alors un voyage à travers différents univers. Et tout comme on s'enfoncerait plus profondément dans le sommeil, on passe d'un rêve à l'autre en enfonçant sa main dans l'oreille. Chacun des mondes visités livre des sensations propres au rêve. Et l'on explore ainsi une ville imaginaire et fantastique.
Okay. Alors là, il y a le dispositif qui est très important. Alors, dans notre cas, aussi, je voudrais montrer, par exemple, l'installation. Dans ce cas-là, on est dans un espace immersif.
So these are more immersive space kind of works.
Alors, le visiteur peut entrer dedans, dans l'œuvre elle-même. Oui. Du coup, le visiteur il devient comme l'élément.
So the visitor becomes an element of the work.
Comme l'élément animé, il fait partie de l'œuvre. Ok. Et puis alors, une autre situation, là, c'est que j'ai réalisé une œuvre dans un cadre là public. Par exemple, là c'est dans un site, dans un parc scientifique à Taipei. Et là, l'écran, avec tout à l'heure, les 9 colonnes, c'est à l'écran d'affichage.
So it's a work in a public space, and all these columns they have like displays on them.
Alors ces œuvres prévues pour 15 ans. C'est réalisé en 2007.
So they were made in 2007, and they are made to last 15 years.
Bien sûr, la nuit, les œuvres interagissent avec les passagers et aussi avec le bruit de l'environnement.
So during the night, the work is what is displayed is modified by the movement of the people and by the sound of the area and how the soundscape changes.
Ok. Notre projet qu'on a présenté, c'est toute l'équipe de notre labo, dans la première édition Futur en scène à Paris. On a réalisé dans un espace, dans une chapelle. À l'époque, on a commencé à travailler en 2007-2008, on a présenté en 2009. À l'époque, il n'y a pas encore d'iPad. Et là, c'est vraiment la première prototype de réalité augmentée.
So this was done in a chapel, and this was before the iPad, and it's one of the first work using augmented reality as its principle.
C'est-à-dire, le visiteur à travers l'écran, quand on visualise sur la coupole, on peut voir une ange hein, où on voit l'espace et le poisson, ou quand on vise sur la fenêtre, on voit des créatures qui entrent à travers la fenêtre. Et ces œuvres réalité augmentée étaient vraiment créées pour cet espace, pour cette chapelle.
So they were really created for this specific space.
Et voilà, je dis. Alors maintenant, on est en train de réfléchir comment on peut préserver toutes ces œuvres dans l'avenir. Alors bien sûr, il y a tout ce côté de programme, de conception, hein, et après aussi le côté hard. On peut penser comme la machine universelle de Turing, qui est capable de lire le programme, et aussi comme les œuvres créées dans un lieu public, il y a le site aussi. Et tout ça, comment les transcrire, hein, dans l'archivage.
So how to transcribe all these elements into an archiving system or documentation?
Okay, merci, thank you. Okay.